So the project that I have decided to work on is my latest one. It is Project Everly. I haven't actually written any words for the last 2 months, so I am starving to write something, which I haven't told anyone that, so you get the tea first. I have my notes up here, so don't mind me if I'm looking up. Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Brooke, and today I'm going to be talking about the new writing challenge that I'm doing for November, December, and January. Today I have some ginger turmeric tea, piping hot. Cannot drink it just yet, so I will have to wait. But today I want to talk about why I am doing a different challenge and not NaNoWriMo. As you may have seen more on my Instagram, last year I participated for my first time ever. And about halfway point through November, there were some things that came up with NaNoWriMo that was just kind of, I don't know. But towards November this year, some more stuff came up with NaNoWriMo. And if you don't know what it is, just Google it. But I ended up deactivating my account about a few months ago. So this year, I need a new challenge. And before, around that same time when it came out, I found a new challenge called PaWriCo24. What does that stand for? It stands for the Pathfinders Writers Community. Community? I hope that's what it is. And basically it is a challenge brought together by 2 writers on Instagram. Their names are Rain Sullivan and Jen Woodruff. Now this challenge is very community focused. It's actually hosting fundraisers too, which is pretty cool. But they have a big Discord channel that I joined as soon as it came up, and it's at like a few thousand, I think, people on it, so that's pretty awesome. The reason people are loving this challenge is because you get to pick your own challenge. So it's from November to January, and you can pick whether to do it for just November or just November, December, or all the way until January, or if you're starting later in December, you know, it's very flexible. And it can also be any goal that you want. It doesn't have to be 50,000 words in 1 month. It can be, 100 pages edited in 1 month. It can be finish my first revision read through in a month or 3 months. So it's a very flexible challenge for a lot of people. And I think that's why a lot of people have found this challenge to be a lot more easily appealing to just pick up on. Because it's just so fluid and you can kind of pick your own path. That's why it's the Pathfinders. So I think it's really cool. I'll share their Instagram page up here. It'll be linked in the description, of course, and also their Discord. You should really join their Discord. Before the challenge even started, I started messaging on there and like talking to people and kind of expressing some of the hurdles that I've been meeting with my books. And it helped me a lot. It actually, it set me on the right path. So it's nice to have other writers to talk to and to know that you're not alone when you're struggling. So it's a great community. I definitely recommend joining it. Just make sure to check out their rules on the Discord, and there you go, you're good. So the project that I have decided to work on is my latest one. It is Project Everly, which is an adult fantasy romantasy, and it's a standalone, just so you know. So it's inspired by the 1955's movie While You Were Sleeping, starring Sandra Bullock. It is loosely inspired by that movie. I'll be sharing more on my Instagram. Shameless plug, it's just I simply post there more than here, more frequently. And I share more details about the project. But that is the project that I have chosen to work on for the next 3 months. And my goal for this challenge is 80,000 words in 3 months. Which I have confidence in myself that I can do it, considering I almost got 50,000 words in 1 month last year during NaNoWriMo. So I think I can do it. So now that I shared the challenge, what it's about, my goals, the way I'm going to be using this challenge, I will now talk about what I've already done to prepare for this challenge. So in my last video, if you watched it, you would have seen I was starting on my in-depth outline for this book before I start the first draft. I'm still working on it. I'm cutting it kind of close. I have a few days left before I start, or before November. So, but I'm still working on it. I'm almost done though. And that is something that I got out of the way. I've been spending about 2 months on this outline. So if you want to see the more in-depth video, check out my last video. Because I've been writing this outline, I haven't actually written any words for the last 2 months. So I am starving to write something. So I think once I start writing, it's just gonna take off. Like, I'm gonna have no issue. At least I hope. Because I'm so excited to start this story. I haven't written anything about it, so. And I'm kind of just taking my time, not really panicking about the outline too much. This is the most in-depth outline I've ever done, so I feel like as long as I get most of it done, I figure it out as I write, because I've never planned this much, so I just know it's gonna already help. So I'm not too worried about the outline, but I've made the outline. I think this is kind of the first step for every writer. I've created the aesthetic boards. I've created the Pinterest page. So I already did that. I know the aesthetic of the story that I'm trying to tell. I have completed most of my character outlines, which is basically just a breakdown of my main characters, kind of like what they look like, their likes, dislikes, what kind of like personality they have, what are their standing like traits, you know, the ones that are gonna show, what are their little quirks that they have, kind of like when a character always like wrings their hands when they're like talking, or like nervous, or, you know, plays with their hair. What are their like little quirks that kind of makes them differ from other people in the room. Also, in the character outlines, I have their arcs, how they're gonna grow, what kind of person they are, what are they struggling with, all the typical stuff. I have made those, so I know my characters. I also made location sheets, which is just a location outline, same as the characters. With the location sheets, I like to separate them into the 5 senses, actually, and I notice that's a lot better for me when I'm trying to describe a scene. Just kind of like, what does this place smell like? What does it sound like? What does it taste like? Like, you get the idea. When I'm describing these places and I'm thinking of them, I want to have all of those 5 senses. The last thing that I prepped before I start this challenge is I'm setting realistic word count goals. For this challenge, I'm not setting a daily goal because I am just personally, I'm too unpredictable as a writer. I don't have a complete schedule, which I'll get into that later, but I can't do the daily word goals. It burns me out, and it's just not how I want to write this draft. So instead, I've set weekly word goals. So every Wednesday, I'm going to be updating on my Instagram what my count was before, what it is now, and what I hope to be at next week. So every Wednesday, I'm just going to update that little goal. I'm going to try and hit that amount of words. And I've tried this before, and it's just the best way for me to push myself, and I cannot keep up with a daily word count, and it doesn't work for me. And I've decided that if something doesn't work for me as a writer, I need to find my own way. So I've made my own way, which is weekly word count goals. So now that I've explained what I have already done, I will explain now what I'm going to be doing while I am doing this challenge. So while I am writing this draft, what are some things that I'm going to be doing to help myself basically get through this and to get to my goal. So obviously one of the first things I'm doing is I'm setting time aside for relaxation and to give myself a forced break. I did this before with NaNoWriMo last year, and it really helped forcing myself to take that break, because I will just keep pushing and pushing until I burn out. So for example, I have like every Friday night, that is a no work night. I am hanging out on the couch, I'm watching movies with my partner, like I'm not working on my book. Every Friday night, that is our time, so I've decided on that. As well as every Sunday, this is kind of a thing I already do, but I'm gonna make sure I don't give that up, is our Sunday resets. So every Sunday we like clean the house, do laundry, all that stuff, reset for the weekend. So that will be a time where I am not going to be working on my book. I have to prioritize that. And if I get that done, then maybe I could work on my book on a Sunday. But Sundays for me is like you clean and then you relax. So I've also been wanting to try to create a routine while I'm writing for like yoga, meditation, stretch breaks, going for walks. So I'm already pretty good at that right now. Like I just alternate between all of them however I feel. It's again, I don't have a set habit tracker that's like daily am I doing all of these things, because if I do it just a few times it's good enough for me. So I have those things for my forced relaxation. The second thing that I'll be doing when I am writing, I will be selecting specific time writing blocks. Now this is what I was talking about before with my schedule. I can never have a set time where I'm going to be writing, but I have narrowed down, at least not daily, I won't have a specific time, but I will have 2 days a week, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays, afternoons after supper. So it's about like 3 hours I'll have, and I want that specifically for writing every Tuesday and Thursday. That is like the least I could schedule into my calendar. So I think if I have those along with I am able to work like, at other times, it should be enough. It should be good. And those, if anything, can be catch-up days if I don't kind of hit my goals. Because before I've just been working whenever I can on my writing and I'm pretty fast. So if I do say so myself, I think I can do it. Now, the third thing that I'm going to be doing while I am writing, which this one is fun, is I'm going to be consuming media that is comparable to my book. So I'll be rewatching that one movie that I mentioned earlier, the rom-com. I'll be rewatching that while I'm writing and taking notes on kind of what inspires me for this story. I'm also going to be reading romantasy books, which are like, oh no, I have to study and read romantasy books. So that'll be fun. I'm going to try and find some books that kind of go with the same vibe that I'm looking for. And then just reading those inspires you to write your own book. I always would just write, and then I realized that it's a really good tool to help your writing. You just get to take that break and read an actual finished book. And it kind of, for me, motivates me to be like, okay, I'm going to finish my story so it can be this good. And then I'm also going to be learning writing craft, but not story structure. I really want to learn more about like scene descriptions and character actions, tone of a story. I want to learn about like conflict and how you can kind of ramp it up, along with comedy. I like to think that my books are kind of funny sometimes, but like I'd like to, learn how to include that more in my story. That'll be the only writing craft that I'll be learning, because I've done the story structures, I've outlined the book. I don't need to learn about that while I'm writing it because it will just give me anxiety. So I'm hoping that I can just kind of learn those while I'm writing, and I think it will actually help me want to write and make me invested as I go throughout the story, because 80,000 words is a lot of words. It's going to be the most I've ever written. So then one more thing that I'm also doing, this is going to be towards the end, is I'm going to give myself a reward. Once I finish this manuscript, I want to reward myself, not only with just having the finished draft in my hands, I want to actually give myself something to look forward to. So I haven't fully decided on what this reward will be as of yet, but I do have an idea that it might be kind of like a day trip thing, so where I stay in a hotel or something and just relax. And I think that would just be a really nice thing to look forward to while I'm writing for 3 months straight. To have this little relaxation at the end and know that I'm gonna be able to just chill out after and enjoy having this, draft in my hands and ready to jump into revisions afterwards. I think it'll be a nice break. And the last thing I'm doing is literally just mentally preparing myself to be writing for 3 months straight. As of right now, I'm feeling great about it. I'm not too worried, but I still have to prepare myself for the long run, which it is going to be a long run. I also wanted to mention, with that 80,000 word count, I've decided to split it up into 30,000 in November, 20,000 in December, and then 30,000 in January. That's 80, right? Yes, okay. I was worried there. Because I know December is obviously Christmas and my birthday, and I just have big plans in December, so I know I'm not going to be able to write as much. So I'm working around that by giving myself some leeway and pushing more to December and January. So I think that will help a little bit. I'm honestly so excited. I'm so excited for this challenge. I'm excited to continue, interacting with the community of this new Pathfinders writing collective, Again, their Instagram is very active, and same with the Discord. If you really want to make connections, I suggest joining the Discord. Even if you've never used Discord before, it might be a lot, but it really is, I think, helpful to chat with all these other writers and see you progress together. And they have channels specifically for when you're facing hurdles or when you just want to tell someone you hit one of your little milestone goals. You can go in there and tell them, and everyone cheers on you, and it's great. So I definitely recommend joining the Discord if you want to participate in this challenge. Which, speaking of, if you're not participating in this one, which one are you participating? Are you still in NaNoWriMo? Or is there other ones? I would like to hear, because this is the biggest one that I've heard so far, and this is what I decided to do. I think just any writing challenge that pushes you to finish that draft and get that book out is the best thing, because everyone's story deserves to be told. Let me know, though, if you're also doing another challenge or this challenge. That would be cool. If you haven't heard of this, go check it out. I think it could be fun. And you don't have to join in November. You can join in December, or you can just do it in January. It doesn't matter. I love it. I literally was just about to finish this video with an outro and my camera died. So don't forget to follow me on Instagram. It's honestly just where I post most. And to hear more about my project, I plan on doing a full video here about it. It's just taking a lot of time. I'm just so excited, honestly, for this challenge. I'm excited to start writing again. It's been so long. So this story is great. I love the characters. I love the story. And it's just the past 2 months, this is all I've been focusing on. And it just feels, it's such a part of me. So I'm so excited to write it and tell it and finish this first draft so that I can hopefully publish it, not next year, but I think the year after, if I can. That is my timeline. So, which I haven't told anyone that, so you get the tea first, I guess. Okay, well, that's it. That's everything. Thank you so much for watching the video. It was a short one, but I just wanted to get something up and let you guys know what I'm doing. Okay, bye. Freaking nailed it.